Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. I'm Lynelle Ellis, your host and president of Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association, and I'm so delighted that you have joined me today because we are going to, in just a few minutes, be talking with Carolyn Holm from the City of College Place, and she's specifically here to talk with us about the College Place Farmers Market. I can't wait to hear more about that. And I've got some really exciting and interesting station news to share with you too toward the end of the program. And first of all, we're going to start with a devotional thought. So let's begin with that. When something amazing or unbelievable happens, what do? I know what I do. I want to tell somebody. I find somebody to tell, maybe lots of somebodies. And you know what? A friend of mine recently received some incredible news. She received the news that she is now cancer-free. What great news to hear. This was unexpected and miraculous news. And really, the news brought tears to my eyes. These weren't sad tears, these were tears of joy at the fantastic piece of information that life now looked really, really good going forward for my friend. I can't help but praise God for what He has done for her. When we have great news in our lives, we can't help but want to tell somebody about it. And this week, I've also been doing some reading about witnessing and how when we have really good news to share, we just can't help but share it. Witnessing for God's kingdom is really easy when you are living in a close relationship with Him every day. One of the examples that I've been reading about this week, having to do with witnessing, is about a piece of amazing news. It's one of the most amazing things that ever happened on our planet. I want to read to you a description of this amazing thing that happened on our planet from evangelist Mark Finley. It was early Sunday morning, and the two Marys hastily made their way to the tomb of Christ. They were not going to ask Him for anything. What could a dead man possibly give them? The last time they saw Him, His body was bloodied, bruised, and broken. The scenes of the cross were deeply etched in their minds, and now they were simply doing their duty. Sorrowfully, they made their way to the tomb to embalm His body. The gloomy shadows of despondency engulfed their lives in the darkness of despair. The future was uncertain and offered little hope. When they arrived at the tomb, they were startled to find it empty. Matthew records the events of that resurrection morning in these words. But the angel answered and said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for He has risen." The women were now overwhelmed with joy. Their dark clouds of sadness faded into the sunlight of the dawning of resurrection morning. Their night of sadness was over. Gladness graced their countenances, and songs of rejoicing replaced their tears of lament. Have you ever been overwhelmed with joy? Overwhelmed like these women were? Overcome with it beyond what you could believe or understand. Being overwhelmed with joy is truly an amazing experience. In a sense, in a way, we can all be overwhelmed with joy every day. Is that really true? Can we really be overwhelmed with joy every day? I think if we were contemplating some of this good news that we know, we would be down deep in our hearts. We can be overwhelmed with joy because of what Jesus has done for us, because of God's incredible and amazing love. We really have good news to share. And the good news isn't just in the past. It isn't just from some time long ago. It's about what God is doing for us now. Not only what he has done, but what he is doing. I would encourage you to join me in watching for God's interaction in your everyday life. Is God there? What's he doing? What's he up to in your life? What did he do for you yesterday? What is he doing for you today? When we take time for him, and when we take time to notice his love and care, we definitely will have stories to share with others. We will have an overwhelming joy and amazing good news that we want to share with other people. Recently, I've been impressed with God's interest in the little things in my life. Just the ordinary stuff and how he's involved. Sometimes these things are really, really small and might even seem like they're insignificant, but they're important to me in some way. And clearly, they're also important to God, who loves me so much. I've been sharing some of these stories with my friends and relatives, and I want to keep doing that. Let's share the good news that God is alive and active in our lives, and he is doing amazing things. Please stay tuned. I'll be right back to talk with Carolyn Holm. And welcome back. With me now is Carolyn Holm from the city of College Place. And Carolyn, it is really good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about your role at the city.
So I am the Deputy City Clerk and the Events Coordinator. My duties include working with the actual city clerk for the city of College Place with council support, commission support, contracts, franchise agreement management, public records requests, website content, backup the city clerk, and then I also back up the city's permit technician on the community development side.
Well, you just said a lot of things that I don't know very much about, but it must keep you really busy. It sounds like the details of keeping things running at City of College Place.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's challenging, but it's super fun. I love it.
And it does include the farmers market, which is really why we want to talk today.
Yes.
What's your role with the farmers market?
So I am the market manager. Myself and Lisa, the city clerk, we both combine together to actually work the logistics of the market out, and it's my job to schedule, work with the vendors, the customers, the staff for the market, and just follow up to the data gathering, the submission to all of the different areas that we have to submit collection data for. And there's a lot involved with it, but it's fun.
It is. You know, when we come to the farmers market, it feels fun and kind of casual, but you're definitely indicating that there's a lot behind when you just said data collection about the market. So can you just say a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So our market is a Washington State Farmers Market Association. We're accredited and we're certified with them. And so along with that, we have to do the data collection from our vendors, which is their gross sales for each market day. They report it, and then it's my job to categorize it into the specific categories that each item belongs under, and it gets submitted annually to the Washington State Farmers Market Association.
Mm-hmm. So it's really a very official sort of thing that's going on in College Place.
Yeah.
How long have we had a farmers market? This is definitely not the first year or so.
No, it's not. So Mike Rizzatello is our city administrator. He came to College Place from Colfax in 2016, and he was surprised that the city did not have a farmers market, and so he took it upon himself to do a bunch of research and get one started in 2017. That was our first year of the market, and it was in the city parking lot on the concrete.
I was going to say 2017 on the hot parking lot.
Yeah,
we were there.
Yes. Yeah, and so the very next year he passed the duty to Lisa, the city clerk, and she ran it. And halfway through the market year, we ended up moving it to Lions Park, which it's just gorgeous over there. All the trees, the grass, it's just wonderful. We all love it.
Lots of shade, beautiful. It's amazing how much cooler it feels.
Yes, yeah. It makes a big difference. And so we moved it over there. So this is our 4th year of the market. And we were gearing up at the beginning of the year to go forward with a full market. And I was working to try to get as many vendors as I could, and then COVID happened.
Yes, it did. And
So,
this would be a good time to talk about that. There's some changes in the market, obviously, this year. What have you had to do that's different?
So much. We, quite frankly, did not know if we were going to be able to hold the market this year because of that. And so
I was surprised that we could, actually.
Yes, because we're part of the Farmers Market Association, I participated in calls weekly to work with other market managers throughout the state, and we helped each other to develop our guidelines along with the State Department of Health's guidelines to put on the actual market. So some of the things that we've had to do is we have to have hand washing stations and hand sanitizing stations. The market vendors have to have their own vendor safety plan. Let's see.
So you have some guidelines for those vendors, and then they put a plan into place, or?
So the safety plan is basically they're telling us how they're going to address, how they're going to keep their staff or themselves safe, along with how they're going to keep the customers safe. So we have spacing 10 foot in between each individual vendor booth. There's 30 feet spacing in between the 2 lines of vendor booths. There's a designated entrance and a designated exit. And each vendor and staff member has to come to the information booth at the very beginning before they even try to set up their equipment and information in their booth. And they have to get their temperature taken and answer a series of questions. It's called a health assessment before we allow them to go to their assigned space and start setting up. So
yes, and are you using masking as well?
Absolutely, yes. From the beginning, the vendors and staff have been required to wear masks. Customers, it was encouraged, and of course now it's required
everywhere.
So yeah, for customers as well.
So that's been a lot of modifications, but how's it going? Are you finding people are coming to the market?
We are. Last week, I wrote down some numbers. We had, we started the market season May 28th with approximately 13 vendors, and customers, we had about 350 at that time. But last week we had 413 customers come through the market, which is super exciting.
That's really good.
We love that. And it's ranged since the beginning about 400 to 450 customers per week. We have 17 market days for the full season. We're in market day 7. So
there's a lot to go still.
Yeah.
A lot of good summer and harvest time for many fruits and vegetables is still coming up.
Yeah, so we have quite a variety of vendors in the market. At the very beginning, we were only allowed to have essential vendors. So that's the health, safety, sanitation, the food and supplies vendors.
Yes.
And so that's why we had 13. That's why it was a little bit more limited. But when we moved to phase 2 is the county, we were able to allow artisans and handcrafters.
So they're back at the market now.
Yes, yeah.
That's really great, because that's what we've kind of been used to last year and the summer before, kind of a mixture of food and essential type products and farm products with also crafts and home-baked goods and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's so nice because you can actually go and you feel safe. You know, when you go to the entrance of the market, there's the hand washing station. There's a couple throughout the market, and everybody, there's just a lot of room to social distance. We've got a lot of room in that park, so people have a great opportunity to go
and you're outdoors
shopping.
Too.
Yes.
It's not like you've got air that's circulating. It's
right.
It's a great way to be looking for things that you need out in the open.
Yeah,
for sure. So let's give some details about when the market is. I know you already said it's at Lions Park, but just when, where, how people get there, where's the entrance, how do they start, where do they park, that kind of stuff.
Okay. So Lions Park is 801 Southeast Larch, and the Lions Club building is there. the actual entrance to the market is on the south side of the Lions Club building. That's where the restrooms are. And then the parking lot for the customers is in front of the Lions Club building. There's 2 parking lots there, the north and the south. That's where that's reserved for customers. So all of our vendors, we've closed off 8th Street, which that's a cul-de-sac. And the vendors are allowed to park on that cul-de-sac there.
Good. So the vendors won't be in the way. There's plenty of parking.
Yeah.
Great.
And so the markets are on Thursdays from 4 until 7.
So anytime between 4 and 7, vendors are there the whole time.
Yes.
4 to 7. So, and what, just off the top of your head, what are some of the fresh products that people are bringing right now?
Right now at this point. So we've got a lot of berries, fresh berries. We've got a couple of the vendors that bring their fresh greens, which I hope that they come the whole season, because I love the ability to get the farm fresh greens. It's so wonderful. And we've got a couple of the vendors, they're bringing, donut peaches.
Oh,
those are new, donut peaches. Well, I don't think they're new for them, but they're new to me.
New for the market. Well, and they're fun. And we should be seeing a lot more peaches pretty soon. Coming up. With the way we're coming into that season.
Yeah, originally asparagus had come and they were selling out every time. There was rhubarb.
Yeah, we'll be coming up on tomatoes now. Lots of tomatoes.
I can't wait for the heirlooms.
Oh, they're so good.
Yes.
So if somebody was interested in actually becoming a vendor at the market, do they contact you? How do they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. The City of College Place has a specific page. If you go to the webpage, cpwa.us, under the residents tab, you can go to the events section. The farmers market is there, and all of our applications are there. Everything about the market is there, or people can send me an email. It's cpfm@cpwa.us.
We'll put that on the screen because that's long.
Or they can call the main City of College Place number and just ask for Carolyn.
Okay.
And I'd be more than happy to help them.
Great. Well, I know from personal experience that the farmers market is lots of fun, and I'm so glad that College Place is doing this, and I love that it's at Lions Park now. What a great environment, and I hope we keep on with this for a long time. Really great summer tradition.
We really like it, and I would really love to have increased the amount of vendors. I mean, we just have so much potential in that park. And there's also a renovation that's going on for Lions Park, which would help significantly for the farmers market as well. Not only for, more amenities for residents, but it would be a really, really good thing.
Great.
So we ended up having to cancel Freedom Festival as far as the events.
Yes.
But we're still hoping, depending on COVID and how things go and what phase we're in, for Fall Festival and Winterfest. So.
Excellent. I know those are fun events related to the market and special events for College Place as well. Yeah, I'll have to have you back to talk about those when we get closer to those times.
That would be good.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Really appreciate you taking the time to share with us.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I'll be right back with Station News. Welcome back. It is time now for Station News. One of the most fun parts of this program for me, because I get to share with you all of the great stuff that's happening at Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association. The first thing that I want to tell you about is that we have a new total for our summer fundraiser. $27,080. Thank you to each one of you. There were obviously several large gifts and some smaller ones that came in after we had officially closed on June 30 with our fundraiser. So thank you for those gifts. And by the way, you can keep supporting the station for the summer fundraiser by calling in still, if you would like to, at 529-9149. Also, I know many of you have been waiting for another update about our new facility on Wallula Road, and we've got great news. The new tower base parts arrived last Friday, and work is now continuing with installing the tower base and the tower, which we of course need before we can put up any kind of broadcast equipment on there, and also for our internet connection at the new facility. So it's really exciting to see things happening with our tower again. Oh, and on another front with the new facility building, we are working on the blueprints that we have for the redesign of some of the areas at the new building that we're going to need in order to move in there. And we've worked on this for quite a while now, but we're putting the finishing touches on the blueprints for that. So we're just excited because things are moving forward with this project. And if you would like to specifically support the new facility project, be sure to do that. Be sure to mark your gift that it's for the new facility, and you can give online, you can send us a check, you can call in and let us know what you're going to do, all of those things. Also, newsletter. We've been promising you that a new one is coming out, and this is the third quarter newsletter for Blue Mountain Television. And it talks about work beginning with the tower right there. We've got the schedule on the inside, a couple of important stories in here about programs coming up. And this has been sent out. So those of you who are already on the newsletter list, you're going to be seeing this in your mailbox right away. And if you're not, you can certainly get our newsletter by calling us at the station 529-9149 and letting us know that you'd like to be on that mailing list to receive the newsletter. Or perhaps you'd like to get our e-newsletter, which comes out every week. And so you can sign up for that with your email address as well. And then I've got some updates about Secret Life of the Desert. They are going to be returning to the Pueblo Mountains pretty soon, toward the end of July, to catch some reptiles that they missed when they were out the first time. So Mike Denny and Daniel Biggs headed back to the Pueblo Mountains. And by the way, some of you heard this story in its full and beautiful version during our summer fundraiser. But speaking of the Pueblo Mountains, when Mike and Daniel were there before, on their way home, they had stopped to shoot some footage and accidentally left a backpack outside of their vehicle with our GoPro and some other really important things in it. The most important thing about this wasn't even the equipment itself, but the fantastic footage that they had on that GoPro that was irreplaceable. And we thought it was lost forever. But in an amazing answer to prayer, somebody turned this backpack in to the Harney County Sheriff's Department. And 2 months after they were there, Daniel Biggs and Mike Denny received news from the Sheriff's Department, from Suzanne there at the Sheriff's Department, saying, "We've got your backpack." And the only way they figured it out, because there was no identification on the backpack, was by actually looking at the footage on the GoPro and seeing the license plate on Mike Denny's car and looking up who he was and finding him that way. So we're just so grateful to this providential thing that happened in answer to prayer, that we now have this footage that we're going to be able to use in Secret Life of the Desert. So I'm really grateful to the good and kind people of the world at the Sheriff's Department and whoever found the backpack to start with and turned it in. And I just want to remind you once again that Blue Mountain Television and Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association are viewer supported, all donor based. So we've already talked about new facility, we've already talked about summer fundraiser, 2 ways that you can support the ministry here at the station. I hope that you'll do that. And I hope that you appreciate how we are connecting you with your community. We're hopefully connecting you with a lot of things that you care about here in our region, like getting to talk with Carolyn about the farmers market today. And also that we're connecting you with Jesus, that we're doing our best to bring programs to you that will help you get to know God and His character better, and that you'll be able to grow spiritually as you move more and more toward His kingdom every day. And may we all find ways to share the good news about what God has done and is doing for us with the people that we're interacting with. I hope you're doing that personally, and I know that's what we're all about here at Blue Mountain Television as well. And I want to thank you for tuning in this time and watching the This Week show, and I look forward to seeing you next week at the same time. Blessings. Bye.